In the light of the silvery moon. Anyway, right, this first one is Argentum Nitricum. Allopathic doses of silver nitrate causes a condition known as argyria that turn the colour of the skin a type of grey-blue with a silver-looking tinge. It's a really extraordinary and vivid visual if you've ever seen it. Physically, this remedy is very colourful anyway. The eyes are red as blood, the stool is like green mucus or reddish green, the skin discolours blue, violet, bronze, lips turn blue, urine is dark yellow, red and or bloody, and the throat is dark red as well. Silver nitrate is extremely destructive to tissues of the mucous membranes and respiratory tract. Symptoms can include burning sensation, coughing, wheezing, laryngitis type symptoms, shortness of breath, headache, nausea, vomiting. And silver nitrate is also light sensitive and an essential component in photographic film emulsion. And as an ex-photographer and filmmaker, I experienced quite serious side effects from spending far too many hours in a dark room processing and printing films. As you can imagine, the physical symptoms are pronounced in this remedy. They are generally of a destructive, poisonous, withered and yet thickening and expansive nature. Neurotic states are also very marked in this remedy, and there's a general feeling of pessimism. That's what rules a neurosis and evolves out of a feeling of a loss of control, physical and emotional, and mental as well in some cases. And there's no safe balance in their lives. But no coordination. So there's errors of perception, physical and emotional again, which give a sense of being enlarged or bound up. So there's no control. They're very easily frightened and delusional states begin to emerge. One of the well-known ones is an impulse to walk very fast, as if to run away from whatever is frightening. Lots of panic attacks. That might be what the client comes to see you about, sort of unknown, curious panic attacks that they can't do anything about. But the typical one would be a fear of flying. That's very common. They get so wound up and apprehensive and fearful, imagining the worst will happen to them. Very often, someone who needs Argentum Nitricum will turn up to see you as a client really early because it's a time perception bothers them, they lose it, and they're just so apprehensive they'd rather get to you 2 hours early instead of arrive on time. And sometimes this fear is so great they actually induce the event that they're fearing. So this impulse to jump from a great height, because the fear of heights, if you understand that, this is part of the delusion. Everything must and will fail. It's very common when people go to a very, very tall wall or building and look over, there's this really strange magnetic pull to jump. Well, 10 times that, and then you've got a typical Argentum Nitricum state. There's such a great build-up of anticipation that they make themselves ill with fear and spend hours in the toilet bathroom before a challenging event where their success will be judged. A bit like lycopodium. The fear is always coupled with the impulse to act it out, so they appear irrational even at the best of times. Any ordeal has dread attached to it, made worse by the fact that they must fail in what they do. This is partly why they act out the worst of their fears, such as jumping from a height or failing an important examination. It's like mind over matter. I'm gonna fail, so they do fail. This emphasis can be an emotional one attached to a mental capacity, but it is important to remember the physical effects of this remedy, and these reactions can be due to a malfunctioning pituitary gland. Hurried and impulsive, full of fear and anticipation, totally pessimistic, tormented by strange ideas, but also melancholic and hesitating, feel like they're being squeezed in a vice or strangled. Like lycopodium, again, there's a weakness in the digestive sphere, and all the anticipation is felt there in the digestion. Elements from fright will develop into diarrhea. There's a big craving for sweets and salt that also aggravates. So they're very extreme. They crave that which is bad.